Tonight on News 30, a shooting in Tecumseh was ruled a double homicide.
And we have an inside look at the events that occurred at the state capitol this week. Stay tuned. Good evening, Shawnee. It's good to be back with you tonight on News 30. I'm Hannah Lounsbury.
And I'm Jake Vanderslice.
Tuesday night, Norman police began an investigation for a double homicide that led to a manhunt in Tecumseh Wednesday morning. Reporter Nicole Smith has the full story.
According to court reports, Defner had a history of
called to the scene here behind me on Highland Road near Tecumseh after a call came in about a vehicle matching the description of a double homicide suspect in Norman. Suspect Michael Timothy Defner was believed to be in the area.
We was called by Norman PD on a broadcast of a vehicle that was used in a double homicide in Norman sometimes during the night.
Officers arrived at the scene and immediately set up a perimeter around the area. After checking with nearby homeowners, police sent a team to find him.
7:30 this morning, we actually sent a 10-man team of trackers in. We had an OHP helicopter. The helicopter actually spotted the subject laying in a prone position about 80 to 90 yards north of here in a thicket.
Palmer said their team attempted to communicate with the suspect. That's when they heard a shot fired.
They started giving commands to comply. At that point, he shot himself.
Defner was pronounced dead at the scene. Police were, however, able to determine Defner's relationship to the two victims, identified as 47-year-old Brian Young and 49-year-old Kay-Ann Patterson.
The way that I understand it, the female deceased is his ex-wife. The male subject is his ex-wife's attorney.
Defner shot Young multiple times at his home before traveling to his ex-wife's house. After shooting Patterson, Defner set the house on fire. Police believe Defner was headed here to find a third victim. That potential victim has now been placed in protective custody. Reporting for News 30, I'm Nicole Smith.
According to court reports, Defner had a history of appearances related to domestic violence. We do not have any more information at this time.
On Monday, February 6th, Governor Mary Fallin took the stand for the 7th time at the Oklahoma State of the State. She spoke about the $9 million budget hole and how she plans to improve the budget in the long run. Maya Hudgens has more.
By Stan Toller, it is written, "Great leaders are never satisfied with the current levels of performance. They are relentlessly driven by possibilities and potential achievement. Those who try to do something and fail are infinitely better than those who do nothing and succeed." Today I want to talk about what we can accomplish to give hope to our state and to chart a course for a better future.
One of the governor's proposed strategies is raising cigarette taxes. Smoking costs the state over $1.5 million in health care costs. As cigarette prices rise, Fallin hopes state money will go towards other expenses. Her other proposal is designed to help the state as a whole. She proposed an increase in diesel and gas taxes. While still keeping prices below the national average, Governor Fallin hopes to use these plans to benefit the health of the state's budget and citizens. Beyond raising taxes, Fallin suggested eliminating state tax sales on groceries and business corporations. Senator Ron Sharp also weighed in on state revenue regarding the oil and gas businesses.
Within the last 4 years, we have went from basically $7.2 billion of revenue down to about $6 billion in revenue. So we've lost about $1.2 billion worth of revenue because the oil and gas business collapsed. And with the oil and gas business collapse, we've also lost the income tax and, of course, excise tax, and, of course, many of your counties and cities have lost their general sales tax because when people lose jobs, they have less money which to spend.
News 30 also had a chance to speak with the Senator Jason Smalley. He discussed his hopes of raising teacher salaries within the next 3 years.
You have to look at somebody coming out of high school today saying and making that decision, am I going to go to a college or an institution to be able to get a 4-year degree for the College of Education? No, not for $1,000. But I do think that we can shore up class sizes if we get more educators out there, get them into the system, and get them trained into the system as qualified educators, not the emergency certificates.
Raising teacher salaries has been a hot subject in the last year, but there has been little progress. Smalley hopes to not only provide a pay raise, but also an increase in classroom resources. Legislation will continue to work on new bills as people review the governor's proposal. This is Maya Hutchins with News 30.
Reporter Maya Hudgens also spoke with a representative from the Council of American Islamic Relations about concerns over President Trump's travel ban.
Our biggest concern had to do with people who were legal, permanent residents, longtime residents here who were being detained or cautioned against travel, told not to travel. And these are people who have been part of the fabric of American society for a long time at this point. So,
after a long debate over his confirmation in the Senate, Jeff Sessions was sworn in by President Trump this morning as Attorney General at the White House. The Senate voted on Wednesday evening to confirm the Republican senator from Alabama as the nation's 84th Attorney General.
Welcome back to News 30. The largest pro-life rally in the state was held at the Capitol yesterday, and our reporter Alyssa Spraza has the latest.
It is government that is created to protect human life.
Hundreds packed into the House chambers for the 26th annual Rose Day, a pro-life rally that garnered legislators from both sides of the aisle to promote and discuss pro-life legislation.
Representative Jeff Cootie, Representative Dr. Dale Derby.
News 30 caught up with editor-in-chief of the Baptist Messenger, Brian Hobbs, to discuss the publication's involvement in the rally.
Southern Baptists have a deep biblical conviction that all life is sacred and that life begins at the moment of conception. And so years ago, the leader of Oklahoma Baptist, Dr. Anthony Jordan, led us to get more involved in the pro-life movement. And from that came the Rose Day event. We're now in our 26th year.
Keynote speaker Dr. Ronnie Floyd also discussed his reasons for participating in the rally today.
I would hope that I can help build confidence about the future. You know, if it weren't for states like Oklahoma, we would have a lot of real challenges before us. But when states like Oklahoma advance so far in the pro-life movement, it becomes a real encouragement to so many other states. And so hopefully I can encourage those that are here that are doing so great in that to continue forward. America needs you to lead, and so lead on.
Governor Fallin, Dr. Floyd, along with others, encouraged the Oklahoma State Legislature to continue the advancement of pro-life legislation both here and at the federal level. Reporting from the state capitol, Alyssa Spraza, Shawnee News 30.
It's time to break out your dancing shoes. OBU is now offering a basic ballroom and club dance class. Class began on February 7th and will run until March 7th. They take place in the Recreation and Wellness Center every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Lessons are taught by Dr. Daryl Green, OBU's Assistant Professor of Business and Dickinson Chair of Business, along with his wife, Estreletta. In addition to basic techniques, the Greens will teach 2 dances, the bachata and the rumba. The class is open to dancers of every skill level, with no partners or experience required. For more information, you can sign up for lessons in the Rock or contact Dr. Green at 405-585-4414.
OBU will be offering a women's self-defense class on February 28th. The class will be hosted by the Taylor Residence Center and West University Apartments and will take place at 7 p.m. at The Rock. According to Taylor Resident Director Lainey Allred, the class is open to all women on campus who are interested. The class will be taught by Grayson and Eve Griffin, along with Grayson's martial arts instructor, Kyle Craig, and his wife, Lauren Craig.
OBU is hosting its first ever family concert night on February 11th at 7 p.m. in Yarborough Auditorium. The concert will include music from the Star Wars films and a small instrumental ensemble that will perform parts of Gustav Holst's The Planets. You can also bring the kids along to take pictures with Darth Vader himself and his stormtroopers. The OBU College of Fine Arts and the Division of Music welcome everyone to attend.
Coming up after the break, Jake Nelson will have your latest in weather. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to News 30.
Here's Jake Nelson with the weather.
Well, it's been a roller coaster of a week, and the ride is not over just yet. Temperatures are going to continue to rise and fall, and even a chance of rain for next week. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but for now, let's look at the current temperatures outside of Shawnee. 55 outside right now, winds out of the south-southeast at 13 miles per hour. We reached a high of 56 for today in Shawnee, 57 for Seminole, 55 for Holdenville. Farther out in the state, high of 48 in Ponca City, 49 in Tulsa. Lows looking to drop to the mid to lower 40s across the state, winds out of the south around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then tomorrow we climb back up the roller coaster with a beautiful high of 73 in Shawnee. Sunny and strong winds out of the south around 15 miles per hour. Then continuing with your weekend, we continue to climb up with a high around the mid 80s for Saturday. Sunny with winds around 15 miles per hour. And then Sunday we begin the wet and chilly downhill slope of the ride. Temperatures only reaching the mid 50s for the high with rain chances in the 40% range. Then looking ahead to next week, we're still going down the hill with temperatures in the upper 40s and rain chances around 80% for Monday and Tuesday. Then Wednesday we start back up the coaster with rain chances going back down to 20% and temperatures rising to the mid 50s and continuing to rise into Thursday. And along with strong winds and random temperatures, we also have been experiencing fire dangers that has caused quite a scene across many parts of the state. News 30 had a chance to catch up with Rick O'Daniel, the task force manager for the Oklahoma Forestry Service. O'Daniel gave us a few tips to help preventing more wildfires in this delicate time of the year.
Welcome back to News 30. We've got Jason Berger back on the desk with your sports this week. Jason?
Hey, thanks, Hannah. In OBU sports, the Bison men's basketball team will take on East Central University tonight at 7:30. The Bison will look to avenge the loss that they took last time the Tigers were in town after taking the L 91-72. Despite the Bison's below-average 5-14 record, power forward Chandler Rickey leads the team in scoring, averaging 15.4 points per game. He also leads the Great American Conference in blocked shots with 54. The Bison will continue their road trip on Saturday when they take on Southeastern Oklahoma State. In baseball news, the reigning NCCAA World Series champions, also known as the Bison baseball team, began their 2017 season last Friday when they hosted and defeated Baker University not once, but twice. The Bison were able to record 9 hits in the first game, and if that wasn't impressive enough, the slugfest continued in the second game as the Bison were able to put up 17 hits on their own. On defense, the Bison have only allowed 1 run in 18 innings of play, courtesy of stellar pitching by the veteran staff. In fact, during the Saturday game, the OBU pitchers were able to record a no-hitter as Cameron McPherson got the start and 4 other relievers kept the effort alive. On the topic of pitching, head coach Bobby Cox says that veteran ace Jenny Para is not far away from being OBU's king of the mound. I guess we'll get that package back up for you in the next coming weeks. By the way, if you saw Super Bowl 51 on Sunday night, you'll know that for one team it was a comeback, and for the other, it was a major collapse. The New England Patriots were able to overcome a 25-point deficit with help from Tom Brady's 466 passing yards and also forced the first overtime in Super Bowl history to take the Lombardi Trophy back to Foxborough. But the real question that has everyone scratching their heads is, what happened to the Falcons? Atlanta led 21-3 at halftime, and after only 4 minutes into the third quarter, they scored again, going up 28-3. It looked like the NFL MVP Matt Ryan was going to come away with the ultimate prize. However, it was Atlanta's secondary defense that couldn't keep up with the accuracy of Tom Brady and the receiving core of New England. The Falcons' defense actually didn't do a bad job defending the run and only allowed the Patriots to get 104 yards rushing. But statistics don't lie, and it's hard to say that the Falcons' defense did all they could do when Mr. Brady had 466 passing yards to his name, which 287 of those came from the second half and overtime. The Patriots' touchdown on the first drive of overtime didn't make the Falcons look much better, as the sudden death rule ended the Falcons' hopes with a 34-28 final in Houston. That's all for sports this week. Back to you guys.
Before we end up, we have a little bit of breaking news for you this week. This afternoon, the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Court maintains the suspension of President Trump's executive order regarding an immigration ban of 7 countries. In response, President Trump has tweeted, "See you in court. The security of our nation is at stake." News 30 will keep you posted as we're updated.
67 years later, United States veteran Norm Johnson received an honorary high school diploma. The diploma was awarded through the County Office of Education's Operation Recognition, a program created for veterans who didn't finish school because of war.
Johnson, who is now 83 years old, left school early to join the Air Force before fighting in the Korean War. He was the 10th person in the county board has honored since the program began in 2004.
That's all we have for tonight.
Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to catch up with us on social media during the week at Shawnee News 30. We'll see you next Thursday.